Welcome to Bloodborne. How far can I get without losing a life in Bloodborne? This is going to be a fun one. This is a video I was looking forward to putting together for the last few weeks or so. This one's going to be a little bit different. I'm not actually playing it right now. I already played it about a week ago, and I'm watching myself play it. So I'm just going to watch myself play it and kind of talk about it while this is going on. Kind of add commentary to it. So this is not a from scratch, new game playthrough where I start with nothing, empty-handed. It's not like that. Not that you start empty-handed, because you don't, but fix this volume a little bit. So yeah, this is a New Game Plus playthrough of Bloodborne. Now, if you've played any of these FromSoft games, you know that New Game Plus is not like super easy like it is in other games, where you just start at the beginning and can steamroll everything. Because in New Game Plus, the enemies actually get bumped up in power as well. So you're more powerful and they're more powerful. So everybody's more powerful. So even in New Game Plus, you can still get killed. You can still have a tough time. But anywho, yeah, this is New Game Plus, and I think it might even be New Game Plus Plus actually, but I don't know. It's whatever was available on my file, and yeah. So I wanted to play Bloodborne, see how far I can get without dying. And the thing about this is, I only have one life, and this isn't like my Mega Man videos where I can die twice and everything. No, in this one, this is back to normal. I'm back to basics. I have one life, so I'm gonna play this New Game Plus Plus, I think, until I lose that one life, and we'll see how far I can get. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's the first time I've played this game in probably, I don't know, a while, maybe a year. But it's all still very fresh in my mind. But suffice to say, I was a little bit out of practice for this run, which makes it even more fun and intense. Let's see how far I go. I wasn't expecting to get very far at all. Because there are so many things that are out to kill you in this game. This very dangerous game. Dangerous game. It's like Cat. Cat is the most dangerous game. But actually, I think Man is the most dangerous game. But Cat is probably a close second. So right away, I beeline through the level. Didn't stop to fight too much. And I'm going to activate a shortcut to the save point, which will allow me to get to the boss much quicker if I die. Although in this case, that doesn't actually matter because, because the game's over if the boss wins. But in any case, I unlocked a shortcut, which is what you're supposed to do. Just unlocking a few doors here and there. Soulsborne games are full of one-way doors. Lots of one-way doors, and it makes for some really intricate level design and some really good level design, where you're constantly discovering little shortcuts that take you to like the other side of a one-way door that you passed earlier that you couldn't get through. And it's like, so now I'm on the other side of it. So this is where it went. So here we have the first boss, and I have to say it's amazing how much better I play when I'm not trying to talk and play at the same time. I feel like I can speak better in these circumstances, and I also feel like I can play much better because I haven't made any real mistakes so far. And it's probably because I wasn't trying to focus on talking at the same time. So yeah, recording something and then kind of doing a what's it called? A commentary track. Thank you. Might be a better way to do things for some games that require some concentration or whatever the case may be. So this is the Cleric Beast. It is the first boss in the game, It's also an optional boss, and I feel like hardly anybody knows that it's an optional boss because I constantly see it described as the first boss. And like, how do you get past the first boss? I can't get past the first boss. That's what people say. And it's like, but it's not the first boss. It's totally optional, and you can actually like go around it. This area where you fight him is actually a dead end. And you see there's a great big archway behind the boss that looks like it goes somewhere, but it doesn't. It's actually a dead end. So that giant door behind the boss is, you know, I don't know. Defeating this boss unlocks a save point up here that's very useful. And it also is a good way to kind of learn the game. This is a good fight for teaching you things. But, yeah, you don't have to do it. Of course, skipping boss fights in Bloodborne is pretty pointless. It's like you want to fight all the bosses in this game because they're almost all really good fights, with like 2 exceptions, maybe 3 exceptions. The one Reborn isn't a very good fight. That guy that runs around in the tunnels and you have to like try to chase him down, that's not a good fight. And I don't think the Witches of Hemwick are a very good fight, but that one's alright. Anywho, so the Cleric Beast, completely optional fight. But here I am doing it, and this is definitely New Game Plus because he has way too many HP. He's taking like twice as much damage as he even does in a New Game from scratch. Like a New Game from scratch, he would have been done at this point with the amount of times I've hit him. But yeah, he's got a ton of HP in New Game Plus. Now, my character is using the Blades of Mercy, which is I think my favorite weapon in Bloodborne. It's a pair of knives, short swords, I don't know. But it's like a pair of twin swords, and it's super fun to use. It's probably the fastest weapon, so it allows you to get in there and do a few quick strikes and get out, which is great. You can also do some pretty extended combos with it if you're fighting something that can be staggered. You can really wail on things with the Blades of Mercy. And you can get the Blades of Mercy pretty early in the game, I think. Maybe like three hours in at the most. If you know exactly where to go and what to do, you can get it in substantially less time, maybe 1 hour. If you're a pro, you can probably get it in like 10 minutes, but in any case. But for most people, I would say within the first couple of hours, you can get the Blades of Mercy. And I did that, and I ended up using them for the entire rest of that run because they were so good. And the Cleric Beast just got me with its super death attack. That's probably the attack that ends most people's fight with this guy. It's a really lame attack, to say the least. But he only got me with it that one time, so that's good. I'm getting pretty sloppy, though, towards the end of this fight. Very sloppy. This could have easily been a loss, actually. Because the boss gets much nastier late in the fight. So not only do I have the Blades of Mercy, but I'm also wearing the Crow Feather Garb, I think it's called, which is my favorite armor. Most of the armor in this game is pretty much just cosmetic, but because they all kind of have the same stats, just, you know, they all have stats just to encourage you to wear armor at all, I guess. I think some armors have different resistances, like some might have poison resist, some might have fire resist, things like that. But the Crow Feather Garb is just an all-around decent armor, and it looks fantastic, I think. So I'm running around with like this cape of bird feathers, swinging 2 jagged short swords. And I think it just makes for a great look. I think it's really awesome. I mean, look at the way the feathers just like shimmer and shift. So it's really something. So as you can see, it's a dead end. There's no way to get through the gate or the door. I think that might have been an area that got cut. Might have been the entrance to something that got cut. Maybe a potential DLC entrance kind of thing that they ended up not using. I don't know. But in any case, the cleric beast is down, and now I can go and level up. You can level up after you defeat the first boss, or if you lose to the first boss, you can also go and level up. Now, this character I'm playing as, she has red hair.
Hello, I honor and you too.
So this is where you level up. This is where you level up, and I'm gonna just put a couple points into, what do we have here? Vitality? Yes. Couple points into vitality. Good stuff. Off to a great start. I changed out the Crowfeather garb because as much as I love the Crowfeather garb, there is one other garb that I think looks better, and that is the Knight garb. It's got this kind of Assassin's Creed kind of look to it. You know, it's got like the scarlet and the black and red and everything. Just a little bit of Assassin's Creed. I could do without the big poofy, frilly kind of half skirt things that are puffing out. I'm not really crazy about that part, but it only really puffs out when you sprint, like so. Kind of like how when ducks sprint, they puff their wings out. You ever see a duck sprint? Like when ducks walk normally, they just kind of do this, you know, pop, 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 pop. But then when they sprint, they like put their wings back a little bit. They put their head forward and their wings back, and they go like, pop, 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 you know. Yeah, so that's kind of what my cape is doing. It's doing that little kind of like duck feather going backwards thing, which is, you know, which is cool because ducks are awesome. So now I'm trying to, I think I'm trying to remember how to get to the next boss. Yeah, Central Yarnum, this starting area, is definitely confusing. It's a big confusing area, but I have to say it's one of the best first areas in any game overall because it's so atmospheric and it teaches you so much about this world and what's going on in this world without telling you anything. It doesn't use any words. It just shows you. It shows you that this is a gothic kind of Victorian maybe world with beautiful architecture that was probably once known for being very civilized and proper, and now it has fallen into complete ruin and disrepair, and everyone's kind of lost their minds, and a lot of them have turned into werewolves, you know. Because you see people here that are in various stages of lycanthropy. Some of them are full-on werewolf, and some of them are just like part werewolf, and some of them are still human, but they're clearly like, you know, something's happening. So, yeah, it's just a really creepy place. And your character is like this... Your character is this hunter that's out in this city as the sun is going down. It's like the Purge. Everybody in the city has to go home as soon as the sun starts to go down. That's when you go home, you barricade your door, you lock up, because that's when all the werewolves come out. And something really terrible happened here. And that something is that there were different experiments taking place in this city using different kinds of blood. Think like Genova in Final Fantasy VII, and how they would infuse soldiers with Genova's, you know, blood or whatever the case may be. They were doing something similar here, where they found this ancient blood that was really powerful, and they could infuse people with it, and I think that would make people healthier or stronger or whatever the case may be. You know, at the very least, it was quite intoxicating. But then they discovered that the blood had some bad side effects, and that it could also cause people to lose their minds and turn into werewolves. So just now I found the NPC that gives you the Blades of Mercy and the Crowfeather garb, I believe. And there's several ways you can do it. You can either do a quest for her, I believe, or you can just fight her and defeat her, which is what I usually do. Even after you defeat her, I think all that does is unlock those items for purchase back at the hub. So you still have to go purchase them. So even after you defeat her, you still have to farm quite a bit of currency before you can buy her outfit and her weapon. But still, that's where you get those things, which is good because it's very early in the game. And I'm still going very cautiously here. No deaths yet, you know, but I have to be careful of these falls because there's some dangerous falls here. I'm getting sniped now. Sniped by somebody who's lurking. I'm going to use these pillars as a shield from whoever's sniping while I take out this guy over here. So anyway, yeah, some experiments went horribly wrong in the land of Yarnum, and now it's just a mess. And everybody's trying to kill each other. Everybody's just trying to kill everybody. Yeah. I think a lot of these guys, especially the ones with guns, I think they're hunters like me who went out to try and hunt. I think a lot of guys went out to try and defeat the lycanthropes and kind of save the city, and they all ended up getting converted themselves. So there's just more and more of these, you know, horrible monsters running around, either because they were infected or because they got bitten or whatever the case may be. And you're like this one hunter who's basically by themselves out here. Here's more of a full lycanthrope right here. That is not a human. Lucky. That was a accidental fall, and I was lucky enough to not get hurt by it. You can actually fall pretty far in this game, I think. But yeah, one cool thing about this is, let's see, this particular character I designed based on a friend of mine, and I made this character look as much like her as I could, and that's pretty cool. I think I was successful. I think I did a good job with that. I've made a few characters in this game, and they all look totally different from one another. But this one, I mean, can't really get a good look at her though because she's wearing like a bandana and a hat and everything. I have her like fully decked out, basically. And since I'm not playing, I can't like take off any of that to show you what she looks like. But yeah, I mean, she looks good, and I did a good job with that. And yeah, I really like this outfit though. This is a great outfit. All right, be careful. These guys do not mess around. These guys were like the scourge of my existence when I first started playing this game. Because I don't know if I was intimidated or what, but I had a really hard time dodging them when they'd come after me. I had a really hard time dodging them. And I think I was probably just intimidated because they're big and, you know, they're swinging this brick at you. It's just kind of like, oh my god. I really like all the wrought iron gates in this game. They're so oof. I don't know, something about the world design of this game is just like such a marvel to behold. Anyway, I just got the tiny music box, which is an item that you can use against the next boss, who is the first like required boss, and it'll stun him for a few seconds, which is really useful. But I think you can only use it 2, maybe 3 times before it stops working. The idea being that he's a hunter who's been infected, but he's trying to hold on to his humanity, which he's rapidly losing. And the music box that was just given to me was given to me by, I think, his daughter. His daughter is still at home. She's got the door locked and everything, like most of the city, until the night's over. So she gives me the music box because It's something that has an emotional effect on her father. So when I fight her father, I can play the music box, and it'll temporarily stun him, because for a moment he'll kind of regain control of his humanity, I guess, for like a second, and it gives you a chance to attack basically before the infection takes over again and makes him, you know, go crazy and attack and everything. So that's an important item. This is a very tough fight that's coming up. The first required boss. This is, I think, the hardest fight in the game, actually. Because the first time I played this game, it was the fight that I had the most trouble with. And once I got past this fight, the rest of the game just kind of flew by. I never really had trouble with the rest of it. The rest of it was pretty smooth. But yeah, this first fight, when you're super under-leveled and haven't gotten used to the controls yet or anything, this is a tough fight. So, but yeah, if you can get past this fight, you're pretty much smooth sailing for the rest of the game, I think. So now I'm unlocking a new shortcut. Oh, there we go. A little bit of a changed my outfit a little bit, so you get a quick gander at the at my character there. Just unlocked the shortcut, so that's good. And between this and that other shortcut I opened earlier, it's a pretty short trek back here from the save point if I lose to the boss, which is very important. Now this part, there's a big flaming boulder that rolls down, and usually you can get it to clip all of these guys and take them out. But in this case, oh no. No, I'm okay. I took a lot of damage though. Wow. Oh man, the flaming boulder just fell down, I think. Yeah, the flaming boulder took way too long to get going for some reason. I'm not sure why. So by the time it actually started rolling, they were already like on top of me. So that wasn't so hot. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Maybe I'm just gonna play it super safe and like hit the save point or something. You know, maybe try to trigger the boulder again. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Bloodborne's a really tremendous game. It's the only FromSoft game that I think might be better than Elden Ring. Although I've heard that Sekiro might be better than Elden Ring, but I haven't really played it yet. It really depends on who's playing, though, because some people are going to play Sekiro and just be like, man, this game's atrocious, I hate it. And other people are going to play it and they're going to be like, wow, this is like the best sword combat ever. So it depends on who's playing it and whether they take to it or not. Bloodborne, on the other hand, I think is a lot more accessible than Sekiro in general. I think Bloodborne's pretty much accessible to everybody. You know, you just need to spend a few hours figuring it out, and then after that, you're rewarded with like tens of hours of awesomeness once you've figured out how to play and everything. So, yeah, I think I might put this above Elden Ring. Elden Ring is bigger, yes. It is prettier, yes. But the fact that it's such an open world actually takes away a little bit from the individual areas. I feel like the individual areas are not as meticulously detailed as everything in this game. This game is a very specific, smaller world with very specific areas that connect to very specific other areas. So it's got incredible level design and intricate detail on everything. Whereas Elden Ring had to skimp a little bit on the intricate detail, just a little bit. And the world design is not the same because it's not an interlinked world in the same way. It's just a big open world. And there we just saw the flaming boulder. That usually takes out all these guys in one hit, but because I'm on New Game Plus, they have so many HP that the flaming boulder actually just, it took them down to like half maybe, you know. Just another example of how how much stronger the enemies are on New Game Plus Plus. So yeah. Okay, I have to very quickly get that that music box equipped here. Luckily, nothing seems to be chasing me, because if so, they would have been hitting me by now. As I take my sweet time finding the music box. There we go. Yeah, nothing chased me. I guess they know better than to go into the boss room itself, because the boss is right around this corner. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I went down and fought those guys, because I put myself in a terrible position. Oh my god. Oh my god. That felt like it should have been a death right there. That was so careless on my part. And the boss is right here. Oh my god. So, starting this boss fight in a terrible position here. Half health. Used a bunch of heals that I shouldn't have had to use. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing going down to fight those guys. Maybe I was trying to refill my blood vials or something. I think was I missing one? I was missing a blood vial. Maybe I was trying to get that one refilled. I don't know. Well, regardless, here's the boss. Yeah, blood vials are just the things that you use to heal. So I pretty much spam those when I play this. A lot of enemies drop blood vials, especially in this first area. This first area is super good for farming blood vials. So if all else fails, you can just run around this first area and farm like 1,000 blood vials if you feel like it. You know, or 100. 100 would suffice for a long time. And then you'll have lots of healing. Can't carry more than 20 heals at a time though, because that would break the game if you could carry more than that. Even 20 heals is pretty generous, you know. A lot of people think that 10 heals should have been the limit, but I'm not one of those people. I think 20 heals is fine, but it is very generous. And it's one of the reasons why I don't think this game is actually as hard as people think it is, or as people say it is sometimes. You have abundant heals, plus you can always over-level. Plus you move very fast in this game, so it's much easier to dodge enemies and escape from enemies compared to the earlier Souls series games. So yeah, this fight is not going well at all. I'm burning through heals because he is having his way with me. So here, I got a good combo on him. I kind of trapped him up against the rail there and just comboed him. That was good. Problem is, pretty soon he's going to switch to his second form. Oh wow. Oh wow. That was so close. Yeah, this is the hardest fight in the game, I think. It really is. It is imminently winnable, though. You know, it's just on New Game Plus Plus, it's hard. And there's not really anything I can do to make it easier at this point, because he's such a high level. But if you're playing this for the first time, he's much lower level. And you can level grind here to make this fight easier. You can farm blood vials to have more heals. I had to do all those things to beat this guy on a new game. So he's very beatable. But you are required to know what you're doing at that point. Alright, here we go. This is the hard part. He has a Kintaro stomp where he jumps off the screen and comes down. That's a problem. Alright, good. Yeah, get him. Get him. Oh man. He recovered. I think this is where I'm going to have to use the tiny music box. Definitely don't use it early. Use it late in the fight. And there we go. No. What happened? Oh, you know what? I think I used the tiny music box a couple times earlier in the fight to stun him. I must have blinked and missed it or something, because I think the music box was out of charges just now. Of course, you don't know when it's out of charges because, you know, it's just when it stops getting to him. So yeah, I don't think it worked. I thought it was going to work and it didn't work, so you got me. I just completely misjudged it, basically. So yeah, that's how far can I get without losing a life in Bloodborne, and the answer is the first real required boss. I think I gave him a good run though. He was very close to losing that fight. I just want to take a quick look there at the environments because they're so nice. Okay, so Cockburn is the first character I beat the game with at level 99. 94 hours. Amazing playthrough. Altair is the first character I played the game with. I got 5 hours in. I got to level 11, which is extremely low, especially after 5 hours. But that was the one I gave up on because I couldn't progress in the game. I couldn't figure it out. So I gave up on Altair. I almost returned the game, but then I started Cockburn, and Cockburn went a little better for some reason. Scarlet is the character I was just playing as. Her level is a complete coincidence. I don't know why it's 169. That's just what it ended up as after my leveling a minute ago. Mia de Souza is my blood tinge character, and Lorelei is my arcane character. Lorelei is arcane only, but she can use weapons with arcane on them, so that's cool. Mia de Souza, my blood tinge character, can only use guns. That was a gun-only playthrough, and that was a lot of fun. It turned out that gun-only is actually much easier than I would have expected as well. But yeah, here is Lorelei, which is a great name, and I gave her blue hair because I was kind of basing her on that blue-haired woman in Valkyria Chronicles. And here she is demonstrating her arcane spells. Yes, Bloodborne has magic. Most of it is pretty late in the game, though. So most of my arcane playthrough was just me kind of using the flamethrower on everything, because that was the only early game weapon that really scaled off of arcane. So that was a tough one. The arcane playthrough, I think, was a tough one. I didn't have a ton of fun with that, so I don't recommend it. But I do recommend the blood tinge playthrough, using a gun only. That was a really fun playthrough, and it was very different as well. So yeah, recommend that one. And I really like my character that I was playing as earlier with the two blades, who moves really fast, kind of like a rogue. So that was also a really fun playthrough. Yeah. So I've had several really great playthroughs of this game, and each one's been different. Each one has been completely different in feel, because there are so many different approaches you can take. So yeah, really great game. And this is what the sky looks like at the end of the game. At the beginning you have the sun set, which is very pretty, but then at the end of the game the sky is purple and the moon is red, and it is a sight to behold. But yeah. And for the middle act of the game, it is dark out. You have the moonlight. Oh, the video just ended. That's the only sky I don't really prefer, is the moonlit nightscape. But even that's really cool, because there are several lakes midway through the game that reflect the moonlight, and even that is a very cool sky. So I'm just rambling at this point about the sky. Thank you for joining me for this Bloodborne video. It was very cool to play it again, and it was cool to take a look at it and kind of narrate it without having to play it at the same time. It was much easier for me. So yes, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.